I want to speak on the case leading up to me getting sentenced to 23 years at 85% at 17 years old today. uh, Last I spoke to y'all, I told y'all about when we went out there to Louisiana to live with my pops, then us coming back. So I want to start back from there. I told y'all back to the same shit, back to the streets. So come back, we link back up with Sko. Years passed though. Years passed now, because I got locked up at 17. So I'm gonna just cut to the chase and get to telling y'all about that. So when we came back from Louisiana, probably like a year after that, my brother ended up getting locked up for a gun case. So he was in the county fighting a little gun case. Now when he was in the county, all that shit, that's when I ended up robbing Black. That's when I did that shit to Black. And so he did like a couple months. He came home, but when he came home, I started messing around with this dude who I went to school with, but I really ain't fuck with him in school like that. But for somehow I just thought, I don't know how we really linked. That's what I should have questioned. Long story short, me and him linked up when bro was locked up. So we linked up because I used to have this spot where I used to hustle at. And I had him come over there and shit. I used to have him over there with me and shit, hustling and shit like that with me and shit. But he ended up putting me on the stand. Now, the stand was for a lot of guns. It was for a lot of guns. Now, I thought he was over-exaggerating when he was telling me about it. People tend to, put too much on stories, but he wasn't. Now, so when he get to telling me about it, me, young-minded, just another one of them shit what motherfucker didn't have to do but did the shit anyway on some dumb reckless shit. So he tell me about it. We plotting it with the band. Long story short, my brother come home. So we telling him about it. So now while we telling him about it, he instantly with it. This his MO. This what he do. This what he love doing anyway. So but I didn't want him to go because he just came home. So I took his spot. I'm like, hell no, you not going. I go because I know for sure you will get some shit if I go. So I told him he wasn't going, so he ended up kicking it with Sko while we went and did what we did. You know what I'm saying? Me and another one of my reppies, may peace be upon his soul. This case is he ended up having a standoff with the police for this case, and he ended up losing his life to it. So I want to say, may peace be upon him. You know what I'm saying? He was a real good dude too. Now, so we ended up going over there, us three, me, him, and the other dude put me on the stand. We ended up going over there. We ended up, peeping the same shit like that. So, but it was a rush job. We ain't really plot nothing, think nothing. We just went over there, seen, and so about an hour or two later, we go back over there. And I ain't gonna speak too much in depth about it, even though the case over with, but we supposedly went back over and ran in there and, and it was a gun safe downstairs in the basement. You know what I'm saying? So a motherfucker was took to the basement to open the safe. And shit, motherfucker was in and out that bitch in like 2 minutes. So long story short, left, end up putting all the guns and shit up, putting them up, putting them away, splitting them, type shit. Then I'm trying to remember because I don't want to lose nothing or leave nothing out. So we put them up, and on that night, you know what I'm saying? Because we ended up using my reppy who had the standoff, who ended up down. We ended up using his car to go. So that night, I'm driving and shit. So he called me for a ride to his crib. You know what I'm saying? This was like 2 in the morning, like 2 something in the morning. He called me to give him a ride to the crib. Now I know why he ain't in his car, so I okay, bet. So I end up driving back to the projects to come get him. Now usually how I move, I don't do no second reroute. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't outside when I pulled up, I'm gone. So he wasn't outside though, but I knew his situation. So I ended up calling him again, circling, come back, pick him up. So I end up dropping him off at him and his bitch crib. But just so happened, he just came home off parole. So just so happened, that was his parole site. So long story short, they end up linking him to the robbery, to the home invasion. So they linked him through his phone records because his phone was used to call the people. So they linked him. So they end up going to his parole site. Now, just what's crazy is Lily, I told y'all he called me like 2 something in the morning, damn near 3. Lily, in my reports, they end up going to that man's house at 3 something, 3 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So if I would have left and went with my first 9 and not took him, he wouldn't even been there. That weigh on me. That used to weigh on me heavy. Like, damn, if I would have just went with my first 9 and left, his ass would still be alive. He wouldn't even been in that crib type shit. So long story short, he was having a standoff. So I ended up hearing about the standoff from when I ended up coming back to the projects, because I was at my little trap spot, and I ended up coming back to the projects. So they end up, motherfuckers in the project, man, what the fuck going, woo, woo. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I end up hearing about the standoff. So I'm like, damn. So we like, fuck. So I'm end up trying to see what's up with my other reppy, because that's the one I really don't trust. So I'm like, okay, man, I got to see what's to do type shit. Now, I know I just left him at my trap. So I'm like, okay, let me get back up, man. I'm talking about, I probably was in the projects for like an hour and a half. Man, I went back over there. When I went in, they instantly, the females come run to the door, open the door. They instantly like in panic mode. They, oh my God, what the fuck happened? What he at? So she like, police just came and got him. That's what. So I go in the little, it was an apartment building with 4 apartments. So I go in one man, when I say crib, ramshack like a motherfucker. So they end up coming and lock him up. So when they lock him up, I instantly like, damn. So I end up going back to the projects. I end up calling my pops. Because I'm like, man, I got to get back out there. I got to get to Louisiana. So he like, man, he ended up coming up with some type of excuse. It wasn't even an excuse. He probably just couldn't. I couldn't go at that time. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he was dealing with. But at that time, I was young. So I felt like, nigga, fuck you then, nigga. I'm finna go to jail, nigga. What the bam, you woo woo. Because I kind of already had in my mind that he was going to tell. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, who not built like that. So I kind of had in my mind he was going to tell. Now, so I ended up going back to the projects, calling my pops. Woo woo. I ended up cussing him out, hanging up, because he wasn't with it. So after that, Sco ended up coming. Sco ended up pulling up. Boom. So he like, man, son, you better get in the house, yo. You better woo woo. So I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way there right now. So I ended up going to the crib. Then that day, my cousin Livy got killed. That same day, my cousin Livy get killed. So when I'm at the crib, it's like 10 at night, I'm asleep. I'm at World crib, police come beating on the door. Do. So World open the door, she come run to my room, wake me up. So I'm up, so I'm looking. So I'm hearing what's going on by the door. So I'm hearing police. So I go walk to the kitchen, look out the window. I see police around the crib too, with flashlights and shit looking. So I'm like, damn, what the fuck? So I walk back, like peeking so I can hear what they talking about with World. So I'm hearing them talking about, but they bringing my name up in some shit that happened with Cuz, talking about my name got brought up in that. You know what I'm saying? And they need to take me to the station, woo, woo. So I walk to the door. I'm like, what's going on, Deandre? They're like, yeah, your name, Livy, Gita, woo. I'm like, yeah. So they're like, your name came up, he got killed. What the band? Your name came up, woo, woo. So I'm like, I knew he was full of shit because I ain't know nothing about that. So he like, yeah, we just need to take you to the station. You know what I'm saying? Question you about that, woo. World being World. She, all right, come on, we gone, woo, woo. So long story short, we end up going to the station. It was me, her, and my older brother. So now when we went to the station, they end up instantly separate me from my mama and my brother. Now that was the weird part. Why I don't see why she ain't get it. I'm the younger one. My older brother, he older than me. Why they separate me from them? So they separated me. They took me to a whole nother station. You know what I'm saying? They had us pull up to the one station that took me to a whole nother station. So while they in there, I'm sitting in that room. I'm not knowing what's going on though. So I'm sitting in the room at the other station. So they finally come in, woo woo. So I'm to ask them, like, what the fuck is this about? Woo woo. So they're like, man, yeah, your name came up, still trying to play that little game. Your name came up in the Livy Gita, woo woo woo. So I'm like, nah, I don't know nothing about that. Couldn't have came up in that. So they instantly just drilled me. Man, look, we got your rapper, you out the bam. We know you was involved in a robbery. Woo, 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 woo. We know you did this. We know you did that. I mean, I ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what y'all talking about. So they like, yeah, woo, woo, woo. Then they get to telling me my rep statement. You know what I'm saying? Show me what the bam. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you talking about type shit. So long story short, they locked me up. I end up getting booked. What the bam? I get booked for the shit. Boom. So I'm going through the county. Now, as I'm in the county with the band, I finally get on the deck. So I finally talk to World and them. Then that's when I hear the bullshit they was doing with them. Now, when they took me to the other station, they told World and them that I was in the other room getting questioned, but they had to wait. They never told them that they sent me. Then when they end up telling them, they told them they sent me to a whole nother one they never even took me to, just to get them to leave and drive over there. So we drove down there with the police, but the police never gave World a ride back home. They made her call my grandma to come pick her up, and she under the impression that I'm in North Chicago locked up. You know what I'm saying? When all along, they got me booked in the county. You feel me? So it's like, on some underhanded shit. So long story short, they give me, I'm in the county. So I'm in that bitch. Now, when I first come through the county, now I'm in the adult penitentiary county. So when I first come through there, you know, like I told you, I always thought I was older and shit like that. You know, you come in now, you like, okay, you in here with real older niggas now, motherfucker who facing time type shit like me. So I end up going to arraignment. And then that's when they told me my charges and shit. And then that's when they ended up telling me about the aggravated kidnapping, the home invasion, and just a regular robbery or some shit. Then they told me the shit carried 21 or 45 because of the gun enhancement and all this shit. So I'm in that bitch already. I'm blue. So I'm like, damn. So then I knew he told on me. So now I'm in the county sending word to the decks he on, getting him touched up. So the nigga ended up getting touched. And I ended up walking myself to say it because I knew he was down there. You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to get him to sign out for Dave and other shit. But I knew he was down there, so I go down there and walk myself. So the man instantly like, man, what you on, man? Woo, woo. I mean, I ain't on nothing. What the man? So he basically knew it was me getting his ass touched. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, CID, the sheriffs called me up there one day, come get me out my room, called me up there. So I'm up there, what the fuck? Man, these people called me up there, get to question me about all type of fucking residential burglaries that this man did, and he put me in it with him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, here, I don't know about none of that shit. Take me back to my cell. Y'all tripping. So they end up taking me back to my cell. But then they told me like, man, yeah. And if we hear about you getting somebody else to fight him, woo, 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 we're going to charge you, put another charge on you and all this extra shit, bro. So I'm like, you know what? Nah, never mind. I ain't even finna push that issue with dude. I'm just finna leave his ass alone. So I end up leaving the nigga alone. So I end up going to trial though. I said, you know what? I ain't finna take shit. So I end up going to trial and they end up sentencing me to first the offer they offered me was 35 years. That was my offer, 35 years at 85. I'm like, who the fuck gonna take that? So I looked at it like, shit, I ain't got no choice but to go to trial. So I ended up going to trial. I lost. And then they sentenced me 23.85. So in my mind, I'm like, shit, that's less than what the fuck they was trying to get me on a cop-out. But I knew I was coming back because I knew some of them charges they charged me with was faulty. You know what I'm saying? So I knew like, nah, this shit can't stick. But it took 12 years to come back. You know what I'm saying? It was a fight. You know what I'm saying? They was denying like a motherfucker. But I ended up coming back and giving it back. Now, you know, on my next post I'm gonna speak on the trials and tribulations inside the penitentiary and let y'all know how it was and you know what I'm saying, and how it grew me and taught me a lot, because it did teach me a lot, and it forced me to really pursue my education and continue the education and continue, you know what I'm saying, trying to pursue knowledge. So I'm gonna speak to y'all more in depth about that coming up now, man, because now we at that point. I'm in jail, I'm locked up, 17. I don't know what's finna happen to me. I don't know what the fuck going on, but I just know that I gotta toughen the fuck up. And that's what I did. So I'm gonna explain that to y'all, man. One love.